Welcome back to the class, everyone. We are once again, and probably for the last time, at least in this video series, going to be talking about the new Road Ahead that just came out, finishing off the last of our conversations with none other than Cal Kestis himself. Talk a little bit about where we think he's going to kind of fall in the game, but more importantly, what are the other characters they're going to be coming along with them? They've already announced that he's coming into the game very similar to how the Mandalorian came into the game, where as soon as he was pushed, he came out with a few other characters, and then not too long after all those characters come out, there was a legendary, kind of a hero's journey actually, event for him requiring himself as well as some other characters. That very much looks like what it's going to be, except for instead of getting Cara Dune and Grief Karga as the characters, we're already getting Seer Junda as well as Marin. So these three characters, really cool. We're eventually going to be getting the Jedi Survivor version of Cal. This is actually a new game. We're going to be streaming that as well, so that'll be super fun. But that being said, who are the other characters? This video is more for fun, more for speculation, and just something that I'm personally very excited about. I played through the Cal Kestis Jedi, or not Cal Kestis, but Jedi Fallen Order game, and I will be playing through the Survivor game as well. So we know a few things. They're going to be highly focused on the territory battles as well as conquest feats. Conquest feats can really be anything, but territory battle zones, especially on the Braca planet, there's a few things we already kind of know about that might be important for us to start building. So that being said, let's go ahead and move over to the actual characters. So we know that we're getting at least 3. They said that in total we're getting 5 characters, though there's a little bit of confusion or disagreement on whether or not it's 5 characters plus the Cal Kestis legendary, or if it's currently 4 new characters along with, say, one of the older Inquisitors like 2nd or 9th that was involved in that, adding up to the 5th, and then us getting the new 5th character. Meathead was even actually asked on the event server. I was in there a little bit earlier today, and he said that he couldn't even actually make a comment on it. So I'm guessing we're getting 5 new characters total, so the 3 announced plus 2 more than the legendary, so I guess that's 6, but we don't really know. That being said, first character I think that it'll be very cool to get to kind of help finish off 3v3 for us. They already are finished for 3v3, but would be the Purge Trooper, another Inquisitor to join the ranks, or maybe even just an Imperial Trooper. We already have the model for the Purge Trooper in the new territory battle. They're really cool how they synergize with the rest of the Inquisitors, really even with the other Imperial Troopers, so there might be able to way they could feed back and forth. I don't know if they would go exactly with 7th and 9th to perform some, again, like have a 3v3 Grand Arena Omicron, where the 3 of them could do nasty things, whereas you would maybe have the Grand Inquisitor sit off to the side with Reva and when she eventually comes out, or something to that extent. But I think it's a character we could have, and really Imperial Troopers are almost nearing a point where they also need a little bit of reinforcement, which is really weird to say, because they were a premium team for a very long time. But one of the things that's coming out now, it's actually specifically aimed to beat them, are the Tuskens. That was also mentioned in the Road Ahead, but the way that their momentum works, CG flat out said it's specifically aimed to beat turn meter teams like Imperial Troopers. The like was actually them saying that. So I wouldn't be surprised if we could have a character that could kind of flip-flop back and forth. I really do like it when they allow a character, I think this is important even, to have more than one home. Our previous video that we talked about of them maybe going back and adding factions to older characters, kind of like they're adding the Tusken faction to Dad Bod Boba when he's under the Chief Tusken lead. That might be something they can do. They can give him more than one so that he can be usable in multiple lineups. And I probably wouldn't be able to be using an Imperial Remnant team. I don't know where that faction's going. I don't know if I want it to go anywhere because I use all those characters in different homes. Another character that would be really stinking cool to get would be Tarful for the Wookie faction. Right now in our in our territory battles, we're going to a bunch of different planets, seeing a bunch of different things, and one of the planets that we currently have access to is Kashyyyk, which is a planet that you can visit in Jedi Fallen Order, where you get to fight alongside Tarful, who's actually already been seen in a bunch of other mediums. He's in episode 3, and his character exists, I think, in a lot of other video games as well. But we even have a specific mission here that requires 5 light side Wookiees, and I think this might even be beatable right now, but it does require you to gear up, not even gear up, Relic 7 Plus. Some guys that probably shouldn't be past Relic 7 Plus, like These first two Chewbacca, really the first three Chewbaccas are the only three that I would ever consider. Zalbar's a maybe, the other two, nah. So I would really like for us to get a character in there that could just make that mission super easy, and that would be Tarful. Having actually a Wookiee leader, and furthermore, just adding the Wookiee faction into the game. I don't know how many people were playing at the time, but when Nubaka, or Chupi, or whatever you want to call him, first came out, he actually had the Wookiee tag on the player card because CG didn't update it quick enough to be able to knock it out. So that would be something really fun. I guess Kersandin can have a third home, although I really don't think Kersandin would be used there, not only just because he has way better homes with both Afra and Jabba, but the role of tank doesn't really seem to be needed. I think Vandor and Zalbar, as well as Clone Wars Chewie, are all technically tanks and kind of already house that part of their kit. So that being said, I think Tarful would be a fun addition to get. I would really like him to be an attacker. I feel like we don't have a solid Wookiee attacker, and for as hard as they stinking hit, like in actual lore as well as just the movies and wherever we see them ripping people's arms off, it's a little weird for them to only be tanks. I guess maybe veteran smuggler's an attacker. Doesn't really feel like it. I would like him to do more damage than he does. Moving on to the last one, Taryn Malicos. And everyone's probably asking, okay, who in the world is Taryn Malicos and why should I care? So if you ever played Jedi Fallen Order, there is someone that is commonly referred to as Darth Shirtless. I don't really want to show a picture of him for that exact reason. You can Google Taryn or Talon Maricors or whatever his name is. But basically his role in the game is he's kind of the shadow that lurks around, and he is very clearly a dark side, very clear after the game. This is a spoiler, so, you know, you haven't played the game, go play it. This whole video was really a spoiler for that game. But there's a character in there that you go in, and he is a dark side unaligned force user that you eventually end up having to fight against. He was a Jedi that goes to the planet of Dathomir, and he actually gets corrupted by a lot of the evil force, or the dark side force that is present there. So one of the reasons why I'm inclined to believe, or I'm inclined to think rather, that he could be one of the characters we could get, if not the other two, is because when they go down here and they specifically mention Seer as, where do they mention as her? A leader character for unaligned force user of all types. This really makes it seem like she's not just aimed to be a light side unaligned force user. And right now, we don't have a lot of good unaligned force users. They're just sitting around. Most of them we have actually have real teams. CLS is an unaligned force user, for example. Dude's got a pretty good team. He's hanging with the rebels. He does not need another home. Rey and SLKR, Cat, Maul, like most of these characters already have really good placements. There are a few stragglers, but most of the time, they're stragglers for a reason. So basically what I'm getting at is for her team, she's going to be the leader. I think she is going to steal this version of Cal, but she'll need other characters to actually make that team good outside of just the ones that we have laying around. And I think he would come in and he would be a really nice addition to Dark Side Unaligned Force User. I don't think there would be any actual synergy tying them together because, again, spoilers for the game, they're kind of at odds for most of it. But those are the first three that come to my mind that I think we could really use. Purge Trooper more so just for funsies. The Imperial Troopers and Inquisitors could always use a boost. It's always fun to have that as well, especially maybe he could be the one to have the TB Omicron. Tarful, I just want my Wookiee faction, just give it to me. And then Taryn would really just be able to finish out the Seer faction, or rather the Unaligned Force user under Seer. So thank you guys very much for watching, and until the next time, stay awesome.